Anyway, they will talk about them more here in a moment because Roxanne Perez came out to do the in-ring promo, and she brought out her friend Cora Jade. And while they were discussing things, here came Guilia. And she, before she got to the ring, brought out her friend Stephanie Vaquer. And I'm like, what is this, open mic night on Glow? What? They all got in the ring, and suddenly a fight broke out at a bachelorette party. And I don't know, some of these young women are old enough to buy alcohol. We were 42 minutes into the program by the time this thing was over.
Yes, we were.
Yes, we were. I'll continue on. I can see you're chomping at the bit to discuss these things.
The problem is I'm of the belief that there's too much women's wrestling, and there's too many women, not even to go into whatever Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade could do in the ring, but it just felt like Sasha Banks amateur hour, them on the mic.
Yes.
And they're getting time on TV to stand there, no interviewer, and just deliver these practiced speeches. And it felt Sasha Banks-ish. And I'm not entertained. Again, I always wonder who the core audience for this is. I guess a lot of it are really horny guys that want to give Shawn Michaels credit. I really don't know, but this ain't for me.
The female talent that we had in OVW, with a few exceptions, was generally older, more experienced, more mature. And I'm not saying they were in their 40s or even in their mid to late 30s, but they were more experienced. They'd already, many of them been wrestlers, and then they were signed and further developed. Or we didn't put them on television until they had more, except when I was forced to, Linda Miles, until they had more comfort, and we didn't throw them out there on their own, once again, in the spotlight. All by themselves, holding their own microphone, expected to hold a national television audience's attention. They had an interviewer that could help facilitate the transitions and keep things focused. And it's just not, what the fuck? It's just not fair to these people.
It just doesn't, it just feels like they're doing a little act.
Yes, because they're doing a little act.
Yeah, because they're doing a little act.
Do a little act. Get a little juice.
I'm sorry. And you know what? And again, I love the top flight women wrestlers like Rhea Ripley. I love the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan stuff. That's a classic wrestling feud and it's working well.
Yes.
But if WWE really believes in this so much, create an all-women show. And let's see how it works. And treat it seriously. And load it up with all your talent. But NXT now, this is, 2 weeks in a row, and I guess this is exactly how it's been previously in USA. There's just a lot of women with fake names just out there doing a talent show performance. And it's not what I like as a wrestling fan. And I felt like that was going on here, and it wasn't Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, because they didn't even get on the mic. They just came out there and had at least an aura. The other two were doing a WWE under Vince McMahon style performance. And I think there's some talent in NXT, but the people who rave about Shawn Michaels booking and how, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You say the other two had an aura? We used to have a sponsor that you could get rid of that. It would get rid of any kind of aura you had in your pits and your crotch. And
yeah, but stature, aura. I mean, it was just, at least they gave, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have to say anything. If they said anything, it probably would have ruined it. But enough of these segments.
Well, speaking of these segments, we went to the back where a pretty girl and 3 random guys, 2 of which were dressed like bums with bad haircuts, were talking to each other, and then they walked down the hallway and interacted with Brian Pillman Jr., a.k.a. Lexus King, in a highly scripted way. They're getting to be polished script material deliverers. They're not like fumfering every third word, but it's written. I'm sorry, go ahead. And the hair is what you were going to say?
Well, the whole look, the facial hair and everything, but I believe one of the guys, the main guy of the 3 guys and a girl walking down the hall was William Regal's son.
Oh, which was he one of the bums, or was he the guy that was actually dressed somewhat like you would be dressed if you were on television?
He kind of had a foppish look, like kind of like Moxley's old hair, but with William Regal's face.
I think since they become a publicly traded company, you get in trouble if you fop in the locker room.
If you want to watch free brand new movies